Welcome to the Event Marketing Seminar, a 7-minute webinar by Snowball. In this seminar series, you get the tip of the iceberg on pre to post event marketing practical tips, shared by event marketers for event marketers. I'm your host, Rachel Stefani. Let's break the ice. And I'm here today with Dahlia El Gazzar from Dahlia Plus Agency. We're talking about 3 ways to monetize your content post-event. Let's break the ice. Dahlia, what are your recommendations for event organizers to monetize their events after the event?
The first thing, I want people to think of microdosing content. When I talk about microdosing content, everybody's so overwhelmed. There's so much content out there that actually at the event, there's so many highlights and such great content that post-event, you have a golden opportunity to give them and feed them content in micro doses. It's kind of like drugs. And so you get them hooked, you get them addicted, but you do it in chunks. You do it in small bits of content. And that can actually lead into a bundle or a revenue stream that is based on subscription, that it's based on topics that people prefer versus just everything that was at the event. So you get to know what your audience wants more of in content wise, what they will pay more for. So the second is when you are at a virtual or digital event, what happens is your chat lights up. It's on fire. People that are really, really engaged, they actually give more content and insight that is very specific to a certain profession, and it complements the session at hand, whether it's a general session, a breakout session, a panel discussion, for example. To repurpose or to package that chat and all the insight that's in there, it's gold. You can actually do that in a way where, one, people can pay for it because maybe they were not there. Second is they don't want to miss on what their peers were talking about. So that's another revenue opportunity right there with content post-event.
So you mentioned that it's for digital, it's live happening in the chat. So how can an organizer apply the same strategy for an in-person event?
Definitely. It becomes part of the event design if it's face-to-face. So if you have roundtable discussions, peer-to-peer conversations, conversation starters, for example, that are facilitated and led, it's almost like you want to be a fly on the wall in, the discussions and the conversations that are happening in the hallway. And so if all of this is captured, transcribed, packaged, then people will pay for it, or you're creating FOMO enough for them to say, I'm pre-registering for your next event.
And a thought here, I'm going to just plant the idea here because you talk about the chat going on fire, the moderators on site. There's a whole session that we need to do on moderators and how to light up the chat on fire, basically in engagement. So that's something that we could, because that's crucial to get people talking, to get this insight out of them when they're in the chat or in these discussion tables.
Yeah, you definitely need, it's a strategy, it's confetti guns, and it's cheerleaders with pom-poms. That's the 3 elements that you need for.
That's a seminar
on fire. Yes, that is.
That's a second seminar
with props, mind you. Third strategy is repurpose content. Everybody wants to do that. I'm going to take it a step further. You can repurpose content by topic, by interest, but add into it an element of products and services that your sponsors or your key exhibitors, for example, can become thought leaders in. So if you package it, that's another revenue opportunity or creative asset that you can give to your key sponsors. So you have a breakout session about, AI driven data or like platforms. Whoever's playing in that arena then can become part of that repurposed content. And then you pay for it. It's pay to play, but it's also repurposed in the sense of this is something that was not offered in your original event. So that's one. Second, though, is you can also take it a step further. This is second tier of this repurposed event content, where you get an industry analyst and have that become like part of a bigger report, an insight analysis report, a state of the industry report. It becomes a different price point. It becomes also subscription. Even my cat loves this idea. So
She agrees. She agrees.
He agrees. So this is where you think of what assets that are created about the content, who the players are going to be, and then you put a price tag on that repurposed event. This is a whole brand new strategy that people should take on, but never give to their current event teams, because they've got way too much going on, and it has to be part of the content plan and strategy going forward.
Who owns this role? Like you said, like they have so many things that they have to do, and most of the time they finish the event, it's like, oh, it's in the past, we're now busy planning the next one.
Yeah, so it's marketing and biz dev. Sometimes groups have to, like, co-create, co-market, and they're not used to it. And so, like, should not be siloed with, a sales team that have not sold content before. Should not be siloed with a marketing team, for example. It has to be a collective effort, or you bring in someone who can just shake up the tree, the money tree. This is a money tree. You got to shake the tree.
Thank you, Dahlia, for sharing your insight. This has been a valuable 7 minutes. I hope everybody gets to take away something from it and apply it. Most essentially is apply it. If you like what you hear, please share it with your friends, your colleagues, and make sure to sign up to receive notification of the next episodes coming up.